In the few minutes that we have till Maidiv, there's a sikha about the days of tshuva, what it represents. And the Rebbe said that on fast days we should bring back the old minig to have a special learning, kivushin, to really think about and connect with what the day represents. Because that's really the point of fasting, is not just you don't eat, but that it's a time of inspiration, a time of growth, spiritually connecting to the Eibishter on a deeper level. For those that are not familiar, the fast of Tzom Gedalya commemorates the unfortunate occurrence of Gedalya being killed. Gedalya ben Achikam, after the destruction of the Beis HaMikdash and the expulsion of the Yidden from Eretz Yisrael by Nebuchadnezzar, it was basically barren of Jews, minus a few. Nebuchadnezzar it was actually a year later, he let certain Yidden live there, very poor and called them a lower class, or if there's such a thing, that they could stay there. And Yirmiyahu, he told him that, Yirmiyahu, he said, you have a choice. You could either come be my guest of honor in Bavel with me, in Babylon, or you go live in Israel if you want. And he chose to be in Eretz Yisrael together with the Yidden that were there, which again weren't exactly much prominence, but he stayed there. And the government appointed this Gedalya ben Achikam, very special Yid, it's great tzaddik, and they appointed him to be the governor, and obviously in sync with the Roman government, but he would lead the Babylonian. Thank you. I'm doing to make sure everyone's paying attention, to make sure that they are they're doing everything they have to do correctly. In any case, he encouraged the Yidden to work the land, to plant things, to cultivate, to basically settle properly. You'll be able to support yourselves, and with time, the Jewish community will return. And indeed, other Yidden that have had the opportunity to come back, they heard that Yidden are there, and there's somewhat of a community there, and there's a leader. They slowly started to move in, and there was a rebirth of Yidden in Eretz Yisrael. It was a tremendous thing. But unfortunately, there was some jealousy. There was a fellow by the name of Yishmael, who, Jewish guy, he said, he was jealous, but what he said was, how come he's working with the Babylonians, and that's the enemy, and how could he, and he's leading the Jewish people, but really he's in a collusion with them, and it's all, and basically, so we have to overthrow him. And he went to one of the neighboring kings in the neighboring countries, and he told him that, he also wasn't happy that there's Yidden in general living in Eretz Yisrael then, this other king, and he said, let's, I'll go and I'll kill him. And then I'll take people captive, I'll bring them here. It was a whole plan. One of Gedalya's guards, trusted guards, heard about the plan, and he came and he told them that, they're planning on killing you. There's a whole plot. He said, come on, they're not going to kill me. He's a very good, kind person, and he said that it's not going to happen. Why would he do it? And not only did not, so he said, if you give me permission, I'll go and kill him. And he said, no, you can't kill him. And a little while later, this Yishmael came as a guest of Gedalya for Rosh Hashanah. And he was in his house for a meal with 10 of his men. And at this meal, it wasn't just Gedalya. He had Babylonian officers there and others. And they were sitting on the table. And at some point, Yishmael got up with his 10 men, and they literally killed everyone that was there. They killed Gedalya, they killed the local governors, officers that were there from the government, other Yidden that were there. They went outside and killed others that were loyal to Gedalya. It was a terrible catastrophe. Now, they took a bunch of people captive, and they started schlepping them back to this king of the next country over. And when the servant who originally let Gedalya know about it, heard about it, he went and chased them with his men. They managed to free a lot of the Yidden that were taken, but Yishmael and himself, they ran away. Now the Yidden understood that if Nebuchadnezzar is going to find out, or when he finds out, it's going to be doom and gloom. He's not, Yidden, one Yid killed another one, this is not working out, etc. And he's going to let it out on the Yidden. They want to run away. Where should they go? The only option technically was Mitzrayim. But it wasn't a great option either. They were debating back and forth, should they not? It's risky. In the end, they decided they're going to ask Yirmiyah, and they went, and on the way they asked Yirmiyah on the way to Mitzrayim. He davened for 10 days, and finally had a nevuah, and he told the Yidden that you shouldn't go, and Hashem promises you that if you stay here, everything will be fine. He's going to protect you and guard you and help you and so on. They asked him what he thinks, but they didn't really want to listen to what he had to say. They made up their mind they're going to Mitzrayim. So they did. And unfortunately, there was upheaval there in the government a little while later, and Nebuchadnezzar used the opportunity, and he took over Mitzrayim as well, which was no good for the Yidden. But Chazal said that this act, when Gedalya was killed, was as bad and worse than the destruction of the Beis HaMikdash. Because whatever Yidden are able to still be there now, Israel is bereft of its children completely. And it was a terrible, terrible thing. And it was established as a fast day. It should have been the day he was killed, but Rosh Hashanah is not really prone for fasting. So it's pushed off till afterwards. The Rebbe says that this is a fast that's been pushed off. It's not on the day that it happened, which reminds us in general that fasts are being going to be pushed off completely when Mashiach comes. It's going to be transformed from a fast day to a happy day. There's a sikh of the Rebbe. Are we on time? 2 minutes? 3. So briefly, the Rebbe says in Rasayis made Shuvah as follows: that you have a gathering of Yidden, 10 people together, and we know whenever you have 10, the Shekhinah is there. Now, what's special about 10 to have the Shekhinah? Shekhinah is always, Hashem is always with you. And the answer is that it's a greater presence of Hashem's Shekhinah. It's a greater revelation of that Shekhinah. You could feel it more. If you're sitting among Yidden, a minyan of Yidden or more, you have a feeling and somewhat of an inspiration that leads to it. It's not just about souls coming together, but the same applies in space and in time. We're sitting in a shul. A shul is a holy place. Hashem is everywhere, but a holy place has extra holiness to it, so it has more of that inspiration. And the time is the time of the year, which is a Saras Mei Tshuva. So sitting with a minyan in a shul, in a time that has Saras Mei Tshuva, is very prone for inspiration and awakening from a Yid to Hashem. Now, the goal is that it shouldn't remain in this time of the year, but that we take it with us. Any inspiration is meant that we go on to the rest of the year to have that inspiration that comes afterwards. Time? The Rebbe connects this with the tefillah of the Kohen Gadol on Yom Kippur. He says a short tefillah, and it's about parnasa and material things for the Yidden. And he explains, because you get close to Hashem, that's when you achieve and you could ask for and receive all those physical things that you want. So in a time of Aseres Mei Tshuva, in a shul with many minyanim, Baruch Hashem, and coming together, that closeness to Hashem is meant that we should take it with us, and by doing so, and remaining close and feeling close and being awakened, we have that bracha, all the brachas that we ask for, including in the material sense. Have an easy rest of the fast.